everybody, welcome back to the Cosplay Madness. That is my channel. And today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool pirate hat. And I'm going to be using this hat for Pirate Makoto from Free Iwatobi Swim Club. If you've seen any of those like cool artist depictions of them in like different kind of outfits, and it's really cool and awesome. But I'm doing piratey swimming anime boy, and I'm really excited. So anyway, we're gonna get on with the tutorial. Yeah. Alright.
For this hat, I'm going to start with a base hat that I got at H&M on clearance, and I'm going to turn it inside out so I can put wire along the outside of it so I can bend it into any shape I want later on. And I'm just using some 16 gauge craft wire. So I cut the length of wire I needed, and I'm just hot gluing it onto the perimeter of the hat. This can be kind of difficult because the wire wants to come up, so try not to burn your fingers. After that, I'm taking my hat and laying it onto the fabric that I want to use, and I folded this fabric in half so when I cut out the circles, I get two of the same circle. You see what I'm saying? And I'm also going around the hat bigger so it can fold over, so about an inch of extra. So I'm just putting pins into the fabric so it doesn't slip and slide as fabric tends to do. And then I cut my fabric out and I ironed it so it would look nice and flat and beautiful for the hat. So this was the hard part of the hat for me, and I probably could have planned it out a little bit better, but I'm kind of one of those people that just says, we're gonna go for it. So I did. So I just have my hat set on a foam wig head, and I draped a piece of fabric over the hat and started folding it and draping it in a way that it would lay nicely on the head part of the hat. The way it worked best for me was doing those nice little diagonal folds. And to do this, I just would fold the fabric and then pin it in place, and I put a ton of pins in my wig head. If my wig head was a real person, they would probably, it would be bad news. Also, that is the X-Files playing in the background, if anybody was curious. So to attach it to the hat and to keep it from moving, I used more hot glue. So what I would do is I would lift up the edges and then just kind of put glue as far up as it would go, considering I had put an astronomical amount of pins into the hat, and glued it and set it down, kind of laid it down. And then to keep the little folds in place, I would just put glue in the pocket of the fabric and then quickly shove a pin in it so it wouldn't go anywhere. And I just repeated this all the way around the hat and in every single one of the folds, and it worked out just fine. It's holding up really well, and it ended up looking pretty good. So after you're done, take all of the pins out, make sure that it's not coming up in any spots, and then you can trim the excess away, and it looks really weird. So this was also kind of a weird thing I did. Instead of measuring like a smart person would do, I just pinned one of the circles that I had cut out earlier in the center of the hat, and then just cut a circle where I thought it would fit, and it worked. I only did this with one of these, and it ended up being too big, so I decided that would be the one that goes on the bottom. So for the other circle, I cut a much smaller hole, and it fit very nicely. So to attach the fabric to the rim part of the hat, I did not want to use hot glue because hot glue tends to leave kind of lumps and bumps. So I just used some tacky glue, and my tacky glue was running low. So I had to use a popsicle stick and later a cocktail stick to dig it out. But it worked really well, and I just spread that all out over the hat, and it's nice because once you're done spreading it out, it's gotten time to get tacky. And so when you lay it down, you have some time to kind of work with it and get it smooth and flat. And that takes a while. Then I used clothespins and some weights just to keep it in place, and I let it dry overnight. So the next day I came back to it, and what I'm doing now is I'm cutting like a little fringe in the hat, so it looks kind of silly. What you're going to do with this fringe is you're going to put hot glue on each individual fringe and lay it down on the inside of the hat. And this takes forever. But it really makes your edges look really nice and flat, and you don't have any of these weird folds underneath the hat. So once you're done with that, I took some of this rope trim that has a fabric kind of lip on it, and I'm going to glue it all the way around the hat. I just glued the fabric lip down so the rope trim part is poking out of the hat. And it just looks like it's just coming right out of the hat, and it looks really fun. So to finish that off, you just put a ton of hot glue and kind of just put it so it's underneath the rest of the hat. And this is going to be the back of your hat, obviously, because it's the ugly part, and nobody ever sees the back of your hat, right? That's not going to be in pictures, so it doesn't matter. At least that's how I look at it. Next, I need to trim down the inner circle a little bit just because I made it wider initially. Now I have to trim it down so it's smaller and it fits on the inside of the hat. And so just do the same thing, fold it into quarters, cut around the outside of it, so when you unfold it, it'll fit on the inside of your hat. And you might have to do this a couple of times. I did. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue around both perimeters of my hat to glue down this fabric. So I'm going to hot glue around the outside, and I'm going to hot glue around the inside so I don't have any hot glue bumps in the middle sections of the hat. And that's what it looks like with just the rope trim. Next, I'm going to add some more trim just to kind of hide that edge. So I'm just taking this flat green and gold trim and doing the same thing as I did with the rope trim, just hot gluing it all the way around the hat. And then what I did was I took my hat and I curved it into the shape I want. So I made it dip in the middle, and now I'm just decorating it. And so I'm adding things like ribbon and feathers, and that is the finished hat.
So just a note on this, you can totally see the pink. I'm hoping that the fluffy wig will cover that up, but if not, you can just hot glue some more fabric right there. It's no big deal. That's it. I hope you found that helpful. And if you want to see more cosplay stuff, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Tumblr. Mostly Instagram, because I love Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!